Stage lights cold as a winter rain. One breath, one prayer, then the world went strange. Crowd froze up when the thunder cracked. Truth on a mic and a life attacked. He talked about hope in a storming land. Bible in the heart and a promise in his hands. But a shadow reached from a coward's perch, cut down a son in the middle of church. And I swear if the tables turned the other way, y'all know there'd be fires in the streets today. But here we stand with candles and a folded flag, begging God for mercy on the road we drag. How dare they steal the breath from a faithful man? How dare they stain the grass where his boots once stand? They call us evil, point at our cross, then pull that trigger and reckon no cost. If it were theirs, there'd be sirens and flames, but we're praying for truth while we whisper his name. Charlie, we ain't letting go of your hand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Later.
It was just before 8 a.m. on December 7th, 1941.
Well, hello.
Sorry about that. I don't know why it went directly to that video.
Oh, that's all right. You can play it. It's perfectly fine.
Later.
It was just before 8 a.m. on December 7th, 1941.
The Japanese have attacked the Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, from the air.
The surprise attack by Japan on Pearl Harbor. More than 2,400 Americans killed, 1,100 injured. Tonight, 84 years later, the team at the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum in Honolulu is determined America remembers. Chairman of the board of the museum, retired U.S. Air Force General Ray Johns, taking me up in a World War II T-6 built in 1944.
Wow. Yeah, it's an amazing view from the air.
Showing us the view Japanese fighter planes had over the USS Arizona when they bombed it. Back on the ground, we're with retired Navy Lieutenant Commander John Hiltz. He's a combat-tested fighter pilot and former Blue Angels pilot. He's now the CEO here, expanding the museum and the mission. You talk about it as creating a museum of the aviation battlefield.
Right.
And that's a very different approach than what it is now.
Absolutely. I mean, nowhere else in America can you stand on an American battlefield that was in World War II. This is it. This is the place where it happened. These are hallowed grounds. To be able to look in the bullet holes in the windows of this hangar is really impactful to people. I'm a product of museums like this. I sat in cockpits like that when I was a kid and had that moment of inspiration.
This is his young daughter, Soren, dressed in a flight suit, stepping out of the cockpit.
To be able to bring that full circle now, to share that same feeling with anyone who walks through our doors. There is an open cockpit of a jet that they'll be able to sit in every day we're open. The lessons that we learned here cannot be forgotten.
The children in that cockpit, it's how we won't forget. Our thanks to Martha. Good night.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm home. Here I am sitting in my chair. It's nice to be back. Traveling is okay, and it's cool to see new things and experience new areas and learn new stuff. But like they always say, there is no place like home. Well, we have had a conversation with Scott Pressler about coming in at 7:15. I sent him a text message. Are you going to call or come in via video? I didn't get a response, so we're just gonna kind of wing it. You know how these guys that have rock star status are that, they're on Fox News and ABC and CNN, and they're very busy. Scott's a very, very busy guy, and hopefully we'll have him at 7, quarter after 7. Well, Mr. Caleb, we have a video from him. I sent him a text to let him know Scott was going to be on board with us, and I didn't get a response. Again, he's a busy guy, family guy, doing what he does. He works for Scott and does Scott's, boots on the ground. So, Caleb put a really nice video up the other day. So, Brenda, go ahead and play that video from Caleb.
The 2026 midterm elections may seem like a long way off to you. I mean, it's not even the calendar year 2026 yet. But if you've been following my social media at all the past couple of days, you've seen me out and about, whether it's on the side of the highway somewhere or last night at the activation meeting for our volunteers, already doing the work. That's something I think unique that Early Vote Action is offering. Politicians, have the reputation of kind of sweeping into town just before election season and never being heard from again until the next election. That's not something that you have to worry about when you support Early Vote Action. I live here. Erie County and northwestern Pennsylvania is my home. And so long as you, the donors, continue to graciously see value in our work, I'm going to stay here working to build a better future for Erie and for Pennsylvania and for America year round. So while you are enjoying the incredible and amazing and just divine Christmas season, remember that Early Vote Action is here working for you to build a better future for you, to make sure we can be competitive on election day, midterms 2026, by getting a massive number of Republicans to bank their vote early. This is a year-round job that we're committed to and we're thankful to be a part of. And I'm happy to be doing this work even in the middle of the Christmas season. So thank you for your partnership and enjoy this amazing time of year.
I couldn't have said it any better. A great guy. We worked several events together. He is a motivated guy, a good speaker. He does these Facebook Lives. You can find him on X under his name. He does a lot of posting on X, and that's fine. I'm on X, and we're slowly getting traction on X. But it takes time. I mean, it takes time to build that listening base. And we've been doing this show for a couple of years now, and it's taken us some time to get the base we have, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So we got a lot of okay, well that one might be able to go, Brenda.
I just blocked them.
Okay, I don't know who that is or why they're here, but hey, goodbye. We don't have a problem with freedom of speech. We don't have a problem with you sharing your opinion, but there will be no hate or bashing. It isn't going to do that. We'll take some jabs at people, but posts like that unacceptable, and that's fine. We have that privilege of saying bye. Like Scott Bremner used to remind us all the time when he did his show, this is my show. Now, I'm not like that. However, we will keep it nice. We don't come after anybody's religion, color, or race. I'll poke fun at everybody. So it's not that base. But so yeah, that's good. I don't know. Can you take that down, or is it stuck there? I don't know how that works.
Even though I blocked him, it is stuck there. I cannot remove the comment.
I think I can. Block your YouTube. Reply. Yeah. Nope. I can't. Nope. I thought I had control over that too, but I guess I can't. Add to block and restream chat. Okay. Well, that's the way it goes. We've had to block people before. Won't be the first. Won't be the last, and that's perfectly fine. And but again, Caleb really nails it. I mean, really nails it. I know we a lot of us disagree on the on the motor voter registration, and we disagree on the mail-in ballots. And now that it's not, we're looking at it as, yeah, yeah, Dave, you know how those Democrats are. We have to.
We have not.
I'm sorry, what, Brenda? Your mic's on.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, because I'm like, are you talking to me or somebody else? um, so it's banking your vote, making sure it gets in, and don't go, oops, I forgot the kids were sick, whatever. Until we can change the governor and we can have somebody that will actually sign the legislation to get rid of Act 77 and get rid of the mail-in ballots, we're stuck with them, guys and gals. I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you any more or any less. Until we change the governorship to an R that will support the legislation to get rid of mail-in ballots or use them on a different type of setting, that we're stuck with them. Our state reps, our senators, they stuck it to us a couple of years ago. Now we are feeling the pain of that betrayal. And I get that. However, we have to fight fire with fire. We have to put up the fight to take them down and take them out, because guess what? We are literally stuck with them. The Democrats have done a better job at utilizing them. We have come up with some game plans to combat that, but it takes people. And what do we do? Is we need committee people. We need tons of committee people. With the way the committee people are set up, they're a great bunch of people. They work hard. They do what they do, but there's so few of them. They can't spread their wings and literally do what they're supposed to do, and that's perfectly fine. I just think I see Scott Pressler in the queue. Am I right?
Yes, Scott is here. Let me bring him in.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Hello, Scott. Can you hear us okay?
I sure can. Hey, Brian. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for coming in. I know you're a very, very busy guy, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. Are you allowed to tell us where you're at? Because I know you're a guy that travels a lot. Is it a secured scenario? You can't say where you're at today?
Oh, I am in beautiful Pike County, one of my favorite of the 67 up in Northeast Pennsylvania. So, the Erie of the West. I'm in the eastern part of the state.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, like I said, you're a guy with many, many miles on your boots. How many miles do you think you put on your car?
I'm up to 30,000 in 1 year traversing this great Commonwealth. Can you believe that? 30,000? Lord have mercy.
No, I believe it. I've talked to other politicians that have run a state race, and they said, "Oh my God, I'm pushing 60, 70." And we get that. So, what kind of cool plans does Scott Pressler have in his bag of tricks to help the people in Pennsylvania do some better voting?
Well, I am hopeful that we can learn from 2025. And, here we are on your show, Brian. You are based out of the Erie County, but we didn't really have great results in the November 2025 election. I think people are looking at the results going, wow, we just lost an incumbent Republican county executive in the swing county of Erie. What can we learn from 2025 and do better in order to actually defeat Governor Shapiro in 2026 and ultimately make sure that we have a Republican president in the 2028 presidential election in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? And I know that I may sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say it. My organization is Early Vote Action. And I'd really like to just discuss the numbers for a second with you, Brian. We worked tirelessly to try to bring attention to defeating 3 Democrat Supreme Court justices in 2025. And unfortunately, the people of Pennsylvania decided to keep all three Democrat justices that locked us down during COVID, that gerrymandered our maps, and that allowed for mail in ballots to come 3 days after Election Day. So people might be mad at me for continuing to push mail in ballots, but I want to be clear. The people that voted to elect Donald J. Trump by the popular vote in 2024, unfortunately, not all of those people showed up in 2025 to completely end vote by mail by getting rid of three Democrat Supreme Court justices. They're all staying in there. I tried my part, I tried my best. And so, my message is if we're going to have any hope of defeating Governor Shapiro, Brian, in 2026, use early voting and mail-in voting to win. And then if we get Stacey Garrity or whoever our governor candidate is going to be, the people are going to decide in May. Once we win, then we can change the game, but we play the game to win. And that's where early vote action is right now. And that's why I'm continuing to focus efforts in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard my monologue as I opened up the show. That's exactly
didn't.
what. Okay, and you can watch it on a replay. But Caleb, and thank you for hiring Caleb. Thank you, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Thank you. He is a breath of fresh air, motivated. I don't ever see him get grumpy or have a bad day. He posted a Facebook Live, and it was so good, and so you could just feel that he meant every word. I replayed it on the show. I replayed it at the beginning of the show, right before you came on, because his message is crystal clear. And I truly believe Erie is in a position to make a big change. We've heard officially, unofficially, that we're going to get a new chairman of the Republican Party. He is not going to run for re-election, so we will let that just go and put it to the wind and to the people who they're going to choose to be their leader locally. So I think we're going to see some big changes. I really do. I think Caleb is going to be a great asset. This is the only guy I know that can hire a plumber to come to his house and they walk out with voter registration. That's how motivated this guy is.
And to anyone that doesn't know what Brian's talking about, so our staffer, his name is Caleb Landis, and he's for the greater Erie area. So if you're in Warren County, Erie, Crawford, that we would love to connect you with Caleb. And of course, please continue to work with Brian and people like Kim Hunter and the grassroots of Erie County. But Caleb is a godly man. He's a family man. He's a father. He's a teacher. And I tell you, he really cares about Erie County. And so we're so proud to have him on the team.
Yeah, on election day, we were literally down at the courthouse on Charlie Kirk's birthday. And it was such a breath of fresh air to the people walk up to us. Turning Point USA was there. We were there and just registering people. And we would actually, I physically, we would register them. I'd walk them into the courthouse and hand deliver them. That's how important these ballots are and these voters are. So I think we've got a good team. I think we've got good boots on the ground. And your organization, you reach out to us anytime when you want to come to Erie. We will put it together. I don't know if you can see the text messages, but people are saying, thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. We love you. Thank you for everything you're doing. That you are, and people are like, hey, hi, Brian. Hi, Scott. So the room is warming up very nicely to you because, you've been on Fox. The picture I used for a promo was you in the White House with the president and vice president. So when you come and see us here in Erie County, we are going to pay attention. Any plans this summer coming swinging by Erie County?
Well, I hope to come before the summer. I see Kim is on there right now. She just said, I've gotten 18 in 1 week. What she's saying is she got 18 people to sign up for mail-in ballots. And I wanna dispel a few myths just while I'm here with you, Brian, because I know that we're gonna hear this going into November 2026. Let me be crystal clear because I want you all to know I'm here for one reason. A lot of people right now are delving into drama. They're attacking each other. Look, the infighting has got to stop. I am here to do one thing and one thing only: elect Republicans and defeat Democrats. That's it. That is my MO. And so, why am I continuing to push early voting? Well, let's break down the numbers for a second. You
Sure.
guys, all of you at home, you did your part for the most part in the 2025 election. What do I mean by that? In 2021, 1.3 million Republicans voted. In 2023, 1.4 million Republicans voted. In 2025, 1.5 million Republicans voted. You guys have continuously gotten more Republicans out in municipal elections. However, where we got out 1.5 in 2025, the Democrats got out 2 million. And I know I'm a broken record, but the Democrats got 500,000 more people to sign up for a mail in ballot than we did in 2025. What did the Democrats win by, ladies and gentlemen, my friends? Those 500,000 votes contributed to 2 million to our 1.5. If we truly are going to take back the state house, and if we are going to defeat Governor Shapiro, we must use the tools of the left against them. And also, you know how we're working, Brian, to get voter ID in Washington, Oregon, California? Those states have signature collecting mechanisms to do so. Pennsylvania does not. If you guys want voter ID, the only way that we're going to get voter ID or election integrity in Pennsylvania is if you take back the state house, because the state house can't provide for a constitutional amendment to go on the ballot unless the house allows for that to be voted on. Because they have a one seat majority, it's a Democrat state house right now, they're not going to allow for any election integrity. And so I promise you, my commitment, my promise is that for the next year, I'm going to do everything in my power to try to defeat Governor Shapiro, to take back the state house, to protect our Senate, and to protect our Congress, which means protect President Trump, meaning Rob Bresnahan, Ryan McKenzie, Scott Perry. All of those things are going to be up in the 2026 election. And I also make a commitment. If you guys do an event in January, Brian, I would love to come to Erie. Whatever I can, Early Vote Action wants to be a partner with y'all's work there in the grassroots in Erie County.
Oh, we will work on that. Trust me. I get at least 3 phone calls from Kim every day on we should do this. How about this? Well, can we get Scott? Yeah. Well, let's work it out. Let's
Yes.
start by having a conversation with Scott and see what his plans are. And then now we're going to build on that. Now that you want to come up to this neck of the woods, we will put something together and we will make it happen. Just kind of like we did at the Colony. That was a great event. It just needs to be promoted right. And then of course you are the guy they want to come see and get a photo with, and Caleb, and then his sidekick Joe. Those guys, Joe is a go-getter too. I mean, these guys, they don't have a bad day. If they have a bad day, they don't show it. So we're very, very blessed. We actually have Mayor Longo from Slippery Rock
Yep.
just come in the room.
JD.
Yes. I went down to his victory party, and he's such a great guy. I mean, just awesome. We are blessed to have great people, but we got to get that message out. And I think the number that we saw in Erie County was they got us like 4-1 on the mail-in ballots. And people were like, well, I vote in person. And I look them square in the eye, Scott, and I say, no, you don't. Someone's pulling our leg here because the numbers don't jive. You say you went out and voted, but I go, no, you didn't.
And let me tell you 2 things that will make people feel better about doing a mail-in ballot. And I think the words inherently turn people off. And so what we're calling a mail-in ballot is your emergency backup ballot. And why do I say that? Number one, you can request a mail-in ballot and you don't have to use it. Let me say that again. You don't have to vote a mail-in ballot when you request one. You, the voter, can turn it in on election day in person, and you may surrender it and spoil it. You know what happens when you request a mail-in ballot and surrender and spoil it? that means that no Democrat, no operative can request a mail in ballot and vote for you in your name. You are mitigating election fraud from happening by requesting it yourself. Number two, let's say that you actually want to use your emergency backup ballot. Guys, you don't have to mail it. Like you said, Brian, that you guys on Charlie Kirk's birthday were at the courthouse turning things back in person. You may turn in your ballot in person. You don't have to use the United States Postal Service. You don't have to trust the mailing system or a Dropbox. Turn it in person. And I'll also say, just because JD Longo, the mayor of Slippery Rock, they worked so hard to defeat him. They raised tens of thousands of dollars. They had county commissioners. They had, dare I say, congressmen try to defeat Mayor Longo, and he won his election. Correct me if I'm wrong, JD, by like 49 votes. JD will tell you that if it weren't for people doing early voting and vote by mail, he very may well have not been successful in his bid for reelection, for especially in an off year election. And so, my friends, I again say this one more time. I'm here to elect Republicans and defeat Democrats. And the way that we're going to have any shot of defeating Governor Shapiro is I ask all of you to please consider requesting your mail in ballot, that if, God forbid, life happens and your kids have an earache, or your mother in law falls, or it snows on election day, or your car dies, or you have to travel out of state to be the breadwinner for your family, that you have a plan B, that you can still vote to elect Republicans despite life happening. And that's why I do what I do. I'm here to win.
Right. JD is literally putting, blowing up the text messages on everything. Mail in ballot early saved us, along with all my colleagues. He is praising them left and right because I know his numbers were tight. I mean, they tried a smear campaign. They were. He told me what really happened. I'm not going to put his dirt out here. That's on him to talk about what they actually did to him and his family. Was disgusting, and their tactics are absolutely disgusting. And that's why I'm on a quest. And I had a local hater. We were like, this guy's a Democrat. He's really nasty. He hates Republicans. So they've branded me, Shank's crew. So I'm like, okay, call me a deplorable. Say Shank's crew. We're running with it. And that's what we're running it with, the hashtag Shank's crew.
Well, for being Shank's crew, Brian, you have Emmy in here who represents Crawford County, an elected official. You have Kimberly in here, one of the most tried and true Erie Patriots. You have Mayor Longo of Butler County. So for being a member of Shank's crew, you've got people all across the West and I'm sure across the Commonwealth who are tuning in right now.
Yeah, I mean, this little show that we started with just a camera and a laptop has really grown. I like to brag just a little bit. We took the People's Choice Awards here in Erie County. We beat out the big media, multi-million-dollar media radio stations. We beat them because our core message is clean. I don't bow to anybody. I don't have to play ads. Oh, wait a minute, it's 7:29. I got to go for a hard break. No, we're talking. You have my undivided attention and yours. Your time is valuable. That's why we do this. And we have some nice folks that support us with some donations. One guy donated a computer because I thought I need a new computer. Oh,
Wow.
Apple computer showed up because they believe in this show and they believe in people like you and me and Shank's crew. But yeah, I mean, we're ready. I mean, we've been putting a game plan together. We've been recruiting actively committee people to change the direction of the local Republican Party. It's done okay. They've had some successes, but after this last little ass whooping, we need to change. We need to change, and we need people to change it. And people are pissed off. Pardon my French. My mom listens to the show. I have to watch my language. So it's an issue of they're ready to go to work. I mean, these people are poised and ready to go to work, and they just need some clear leadership and people like you and Caleb and Joe that are those born leaders, they're going to listen, and they're going to listen very clearly.
I would like to make two asks on that segue, please. A lot of people don't know that our primary this year is on May 19th. 5/19/2026 is our primary for governor and Congress and everything else that is coming up. You're also going to have chairman elections. And so, anyone right now that's watching, whether you're in Erie County or one of the 67, I want you to please join your local county Republican Party. And I know many of you might say, but Scott, they're corrupt or they don't listen to us, etc. Remember, you can never be a part of the solution if you are not willing to be a cog in the system and make changes. You're always going to be an outsider looking in. You're never going to be able to make changes from the within. And if we're going to have success at building up the most robust 67 county parties that we can, please join it, become a committee person, and then you're going to have voting power to choose your next chairman. And ask number two is, I know that we're in Christmas time and holiday season, but the Democrats, they're not stopping. They are actively coming against Mike Kelly and Bresnahan and Ryan McKenzie and Scott Perry. I'm going to ask each of you going into 2026 in January, try to find 10 people that either voted by mail or early in the 2024 election, or maybe 10 people that didn't vote in 2025, because there were 2 million Republicans that sat out in the November 2025 election. 2 million of them. Try to find 10 people that aren't going to vote otherwise and get them to sign up for a mail in ballot. And then I want you to follow up with those people, because some people say to me, Brian, you're registering all these people. Do you follow up with them? I guarantee you, early vote action, every person we register, we track. Every person we get an emergency backup ballot, we follow up with. And I'll tell you that we pretty much have a 99% return on investment, because we have the Caleb Landises, we have the John David Longos, we have our team follow up with them. And if everybody starts getting their 10, we can build up a really robust May 19th primary that's going to set us up for success in November 2026. And regardless of how you feel about the PAGOP, make this about President Trump. You have the choice. You put him in there. If we don't vote in November 2026, Brian, President Trump will not be a 4-year president. He will be a 2-year president, and they will impeach him, and they will stall every legislative agenda that he has to make our country great. And all the work that we put into 2024 is going to be for nothing. So 2026, Trump is on the ballot. And if we want him to keep control of Congress, we got to come out and vote.
And that's a great way to put it. I didn't even think about it that way, because they've already are in Washington sharpening their stones and taking their sharpening stones out, sharpening everything ready to go. Because they're saying, we're going to impeach you. Once we take over, we're going to impeach you. So they feel a little empowered right now, because they had a pretty decent turnout. But, they were talking about how Erie Republicans got shellacked in Erie County. I disagree with that. Did we get a nosebleed? Yeah, we did, but not a shellacking, because you know what? We had a realistic aspirations that the city of Erie was not going to go red. No way were we going to flip 5 Democrats out of their seats. No way. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. We had some good successes where we had solid Republicans kept their seats. Charlie Bale on County Council, Steve Oler out here at Harbor Creek. So did we get a bloody nose? Yeah. Should we have done better? You betcha. And you know what? We're going to lick our wounds, put some Band-Aids on, and now we're going to put boots on the ground, and we're going to get to work. And hopefully, Caleb is out there listening. I know he comes. I bring him on the show all the time. He's like, Brian, I hate to bug you. I said, you're not bugging me. You have an open invitation to come on the show. Call in. We don't care. But yeah, so I mean, I know, Scott, I know you're a busy guy. You're always working. Please let us know. We'll put something together up here in Erie County for you to come to and do what you do. And we'll have it. Caleb was like, Brian, when you register somebody, I need to have some information. And
yes.
Yeah. And so
When
he's doing
we
his job.
When we begin in January, let's start the year off right. I'd love to do something with you and Kim. And
Okay.
to anybody watching right now, if you are seeking direction, I have 20 full-time staff across Pennsylvania. Please, I am very responsive. I want you guys to know that you're holding me accountable by being so accessible. You can email me personally, Scott@earlyvoteaction.com. That's me. That doesn't go to a staff. That doesn't go to anybody else. It goes to me. SCOTT@earlyvoteaction.com. And if you're looking for direction, I'd be happy to guide you to one of my staff, get you connected locally. And then that way you've got a friend. You've got somebody local where you are, anywhere across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But we need more good people a part of the equation if we're going to be successful this upcoming November. And just Brian, on a personal note, thank you to you and your wife, what you guys do for Erie. And again, I'm looking forward to moseying back up there. And you guys, I think you're what, 5,000 voters from flipping Erie County from blue to red? That would be the shot heard peacefully across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Let's make that our goal.
Yeah, and I know that Joe, we had a great conversation about how do we fix the hunters of Erie County not being registered to vote. That's crazy talk. I had a conversation with our Senator Dan Laughlin. Great guy, very approachable. I can text him. He returns my texts pretty good, considering
Yes,
how
he does.
he goes. That is a complicated, I mean, huge, complicated thing to change over from when you register, like, get your driver's license to register to hunt, you can vote, register to vote. He goes, Brian, that is going to be a long, big, heavy lift. I said, can we talk about it? He's like, absolutely. So we're talking, and Joe put that out on the table, and I'm like, I'll reach out to the senator. He's pretty nice guy, and he does a lot for our PA hunters and our Erie County hunters. So, that's a conversation that is being had. Don't hold your breath, but it is a conversation that's being had.
When we did the Great American Outdoor Show, Senator Laughlin was there giving us materials and actively helping our pursuit of the 30% of Pennsylvania hunters that are not registered to vote. So I will
Crazy.
say that the senator does listen, and we need to do a better job of communicating our wants to our elected officials. They represent us. And so having that communication is so critical. But I thank you so much for the opportunity to come on your platform. And again, please, anyone that has questions, that wants to get more involved, Scott@earlyvoteaction.com. And I'm looking forward to working with all of y'all to make sure that we have a Republican governor in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in November 2026.
I agree with you, sir. This link that we sent you is your personal link. Anytime you feel the
Yes.
need to jump on, you're more than welcome. You have an invitation. We appreciate everything you do. Be safe, careful with your driving. The deer are running, and thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. And Merry Christmas. Thanks again, Brian.
All right, like we always say here on the show, Shank out. See you.
Bye.
Well, there you had it. The man, the legend himself, Scott Pressler. I mean, the guy takes time out of his busy time to come onto our show because he knows our voices matter. And these people, you people, us, are the core. We are the ones that are going to start moving the gauge. There's an old saying that we say in the military: you lead, you follow. I'll do the cleaned up version. Get out of my way. So there we had it. Great information. Caleb, Joe, Scott, we're having these conversations. And here's Kim. Hi, Kim.
I was trying to make sure my timing was right.
You
You
were
know how that goes.
You're perfect. Now, just remember, we're running a little bit late. So quickly.
Yes. I just want to follow up with what Scott was talking about. I am going to start with Brian putting together an event for sometime in January, probably be mid to late January, because these things take a little bit of time. But we're also going to talk about committee. Committee is very, very important. Tom Eddy has already announced he's not going to run for chair again. So, you know me, okay? I'm already going to be pushing for Brian Shank to be our committee chairman. We need to basically burn down committee and start it over again. And we need new leadership. And we're going to have all kinds of subcommittees because everybody has a special talent. And we need to reach the whole county, not just Erie. You know, people shouldn't have to drive just out to Erie. We want to travel the whole county. That way, everybody feels like they're more involved. So, you know, we will have events out in Edinburgh. We'll have events in Meadville. We'll have events out in, you know, Waterford. So I need you guys to help me fulfill my Christmas wish. And I want to get 100 people signed up for committee. I'm only at 38. So I'm hoping you guys can reach out to me and join the committee.
Yeah, if you're thinking about it, don't think about it. Do. Just like Scott's new T-shirt, I saw him running around with "Game On." I'm like, that makes sense. I like that.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, don't
that's
think.
a big challenge.
Don't think. Do, because you know
Do
what?
it.
Thinking is going to get us right out of. Going to get us a lot of trouble, and we're going to think Stacey Garrity right out of office, and that's not going to happen. We need this win. It's going to be our future. Just like we said, our future is in the balance with Trump. Do I agree with him 100%? Nope. But do I get a safe border? Yep. Do I want our streets safe? Yep. Do I want this fraud in Minnesota to stop? Yep. It's simple. It's that simple, people, and I don't get it. But we got some videos that'll back that up. So yeah, Kim, you're right on the mark. Committee. I don't want to go into too many details, but we got some big plans. We do. And all we need to do is have you come on committee. We'll have a training deal on how to fill out the petition. We will help you get the names of the people that need to sign your petition. And if we have to collect them and take them down there for you, we will do that also. But Kim and I can't do everything by ourselves. We need your help.
Absolutely. We need your help, you know, and like I said, everybody has a special talent, whether it's working from home, helping with events, you know, we will help you utilize your special talent.
Yep.
And I just want you to remember something, guys. Remember Charlie Kirk. Okay. Remember the great feeling we had after the 24 election. We want to have that feeling again. We don't want to lose Charlie's spirit, and we can do this. Okay. I believe God is watching us. He's going to help lead us, and we can win again. We can take over everything if we just work as one great big giant team. So with that, I'm going to let you all go. I will talk to you guys again on Wednesday, and I hope you all have a blessed, happy week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kim. Appreciate it. All right. There you go, man. We had Scott Pressler, Kim, you know, let's get this thing, let's get the motivation up and running. I'm hearing a lot of good chatter from the people. My phone blows up at least 20 times a day about questions about committee. So I think we're on the right track. I think the message is there. Now we are going to show you how to get down the tracks on this journey. So we are really running late, but that's okay. Scott Pressler, he gives us his time. He gets his time. Brenda, what do you got for a video? We got some doozies today. Woo, buddy.
Places hired a drag queen to be their elementary school principal. A drag queen principal in Oklahoma. Dr. Shane Mernon goes by Miss Chantel Mandalay. This is Miss Mandalay at the Little Kitty Story Hour.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Chantel, and I'm here with the Metropolitan Library to celebrate Pride. I want to thank you guys for letting me come share my stories with you about Pride and being yourself. You guys have a great Pride celebration in the month of June, and I hope I see you real soon.
Not if I see you first. I guess during the interview process, what Miss Mandalay did in her or his free time never came up. This never came up either. The drag principal has been charged with possessing child porn. Yeah, but Miss Mandalay, the drag queen principal, beat the charge. And it was brought to the school's attention. The district said Miss Mandalay had an outstanding reputation, and they're sticking with them. Now, if you were hiring an elementary school principal and a candidate presented himself as a drag queen that beat a child porn.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. This is one of these stories that we talked about it. We kicked around and watched the video, and I'm like, well, we got to talk. We got to put it out there, but I can't even go down this street because it just irritates me that it's just like the shenanigans out in Mill Creek with their superintendent. No background check. Nobody did their job, Everybody dropped the ball. This guy gets hired. He's illegal. And I'd bet you breakfast that he was registered to vote. Oh, that's right. When he moved out to his other big paying job, he was registered to vote, which you can't register to vote because he wasn't a legal citizen. And did you catch the news that they settled there was the Mill Creek School District sued the company that recruited him, so they gave the money back. Oh, isn't that just nice of them to give the money back? Oy vey. Go ahead, Brendan. Next video. We're gonna clip right along.
Who was just indicted for trying to help the cartel. Paul Campos facing narco-terrorism and money laundering charges.
Prosecutors, however, allege that Paul Campo, who was, as you point out, a DEA agent for nearly 25 years, conspired, allegedly, to launder up to $12 million in drug trafficking proceeds. Campo and an associate by the name of Robert Cincy are accused in the scheme of converting cash into cryptocurrency to buy 220 kilos of coke, worth about $5 million on the street, and then attempting to launder even more money, almost $750,000 from other drug sales for the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. That's a foreign terrorist organization, according to the State Department, and this happened, by the way, earlier this year. Now, authorities also allege that Campo and Cincy discussed how to move money from the U.S. to Mexico, including buying real estate and smuggling cash in bulk. What are they thinking? These two gentlemen have been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, conspiracy to provide material support to CJNG, and, as you can well imagine, also with money laundering conspiracy. Now, for his part, Campo has pleaded not guilty, and he is in custody tonight. There's a good chance, Jesse, he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Now, this one goes pretty quick. This kind of lists out everything that he's charged with. Here's all the official paperwork because we don't want to get accused of skewing facts. This is all the documentation. You can watch it on replay and hit stop. The count 2, conspiracy to distribute narcotics. Count 3, conspiracy to provide material support and resources. Count 4, there you go. Yeah, these guys didn't get caught taking a couple dollars out of their finance.
They live with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
Now, I'm going to hit stop for 1 second. Narco-terrorists. Remember that word. Now, this was when Joe Biden was a senator, and he used that term. Now, President Trump and his staff use, oh, that's racist. That's not right. That's just this. That's not blah, blah, blah. They poo-poo the whole thing of them saying it, but when they say it, it's okay. But we say, oh, you can't say that. And again, for my next trick, I'll make the Democrats support the drug cartels, and I'll be a son of a gun if they're... Oh, Joe Biden, 1989, wow. I mean, this is an Obama guy at a high level, got caught being a drug dealer. I mean, that's not even a drug dealer. I mean, that's an organized crime drug cartel going on. So, Brendan, go ahead, play next video.
January 6th pipe bomb suspect, Brian Cole Jr., who was arrested after nearly 5 years. He's a 30-year-old black man, and unless you're watching CNN.
Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device.
Why do they keep doing that? Anyway, senior national correspondent Kevin Cork is here with more details. Kevin.
Who's also not white. Evening, Jesse. This is obviously a very serious story. 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. charged with transportation of an explosive device via interstate and also charged with attempted malicious destruction by means of an explosive device. That according to an arrest warrant in this particular case. Now, he was arrested at his home in Woodbridge, Virginia. That's about 35 miles from D.C. He also lives in that home with his mom and other family members. Now, according to an affidavit, Cole Jr. purchased components that could have been used to make pipe bombs, including electrical wires, steel wool, battery connectors, even parts to close the end of a pipe. Now, there are court papers out tonight. They also say that a cell phone tied to Cole pinged near cell towers near both the RNC and the DNC the night the bombs were placed.
We looked at 3 million lines of evidence. We went back and looked at the cell phone tower data dumps. We went back and looked at the providers and what information they provided pursuant to search warrants at the time, and asked questions such as why weren't all the phone numbers scrubbed and why weren't they connected and why wasn't there any geolocational data done? Now, that is either sheer incompetence or complete intentional negligence, and neither of which is acceptable for this FBI.
Interestingly, Jesse, the FBI found even more bomb parts when they searched the home today, saying, quote, he was very into this. And you might find this interesting, too. Overall, agents interviewed, or rather visited, more than 1,200 homes and businesses. They conducted more than 1,000 interviews, looked at literally almost 40,000 video files, and took in more than 600 tips. But it was a new look at old information in the original case file that helped to break this open. It still begs the question, why didn't they get this done before now? Back to you.
Wow. They either didn't want to or they were incompetent.
Yeah.
Both troubling answers. Kevin, great to see you. Thank you.
Isn't it funny? Not funny, ha ha, that the Biden administration had all this information. They had all this investigation. They did the work. They spent probably millions of dollars on this deal, and then they sat on it. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything because it didn't fit the right narrative that it was probably a white guy, mega wearing, gun toting Second Amendment guy to do this. Now, if you paid attention to the neighborhood, that wasn't just a normal little suburb house driveway. Those were very, very nice houses. And of course, the backstory is this. God, he gives Brian a bad name. This character, they had a bond company for illegals. They had bonding company to bond illegals when they would get charged with a crime. But then, of course, what a great tactic to, even though he hated Trump and his family actually sued the Trump administration. Of course, it was thrown out. It was a frivolous, bullpucky, but then let's just put a bomb at both headquarters. So then they can't say, well, it's the R's doing it to the D's. No, it was the D's doing it to the R's. Again, the party of tolerance, peace, love, and joy, and their violence. Brenda.
Looking at the lengthy criminal charging history of 37-year-old Derek Rucker dating back to 2006. In court today, facing 5 felony charges for aggravated batteries against women and a police officer. Rucker was arrested Thursday on State Street after police say he struck a 44-year-old woman in the face. The scenes on your screen, the other incidents police say Rucker is behind the past few weeks. Police say he assaulted a Chicago police officer, punched a woman in the face with a closed fist, spit on a woman, and punched a woman in the back of the head on a CTA platform. Video posted on TikTok and obtained by the Chicago Tribune shows police arresting Rucker, the man in blue, in that incident. His criminal history, mostly misdemeanors, charges ranging from battery and assault to trespassing and theft.
This person shouldn't be on the street.
Why? CBS News Chicago legal analyst Irv Miller pointing to one of those misdemeanors that stands out from November of last year.
They knew at that time they did at least 30 arrests.
The police report from that case detailing Rucker spitting on the police officer arresting him after he assaulted a 62-year-old man with a belt and stick, cutting his head. Police said at the time they charged him with a misdemeanor because they couldn't reach his victim. When I asked Chicago police about that today, they reiterated they couldn't reach the victim. But
the problem with that is he was arrested at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they approved the misdemeanor charge at 6 o'clock at night, and that's not really a lot of time to look for somebody that's the victim of a serious crime.
And get this, Rucker was on felony probation at the time for assaulting a nurse in the hospital months before. Miller says the Chicago Police Department should have notified the state's attorney's office in that case, and they didn't. Again, the Chicago Police Department only telling me, reiterating that they could not reach the victim in that case, and that's why this was a misdemeanor charge. We'll have more on this coming up tonight at 5. For now, reporting in the Loop, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News Chicago investigators.
32-year-old William Livingston is no.
Now, Brenda put these stories together. She edited together for time. Now, just to let you know, a friendly reminder, if you paid attention, this is the Chicago serial puncher. The other guy was, these are two separate incidents that are very similar. And I want you to tell me what you think. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolute war on women out walking around by themselves. But Chicago's safe. Chicago's safe. That's why the mayor walks around in a bulletproof vest and 150 police officers on his private detail.
No stranger to the Cook County Jail. In fact, he was already behind bars in an alleged attack on Kathleen Miles of Lake Villa when he was arrested again yesterday on new charges.
All I can think of is it takes so much anger to hit somebody with so much force.
This summer, Miles became the latest victim of an attack allegedly at the hands of Livingston. The mother of 11 and grandmother of 7 sharing her story with WGN while recovering from a broken nose and multiple facial fractures. We've obtained video from the August 19th encounter. You can see the suspect run up from behind Miles, randomly punching her in the face as she was walking along West Washington. She says she was knocked out cold.
There was no way to be prepared for this.
In Miles' case, the suspect allegedly watched as she was on the ground bleeding. State Senator Willie Preston, who happened to be in the area, took off his shirt to try and stop the bleeding before an ambulance arrived to help Miles. While Livingston has been behind bars while awaiting trial in Miles' case, Chicago police say he's now charged with aggravated battery on a 40-year-old and 29-year-old woman. Those attacks happening in the 2700 block of North Clark Street in June. According to his record, Livingston has been arrested 26 times in Chicago, dating back to 2012. Most of the cases telling a similar story of random attacks on women, like another victim we spoke with in 2022. Livingston at the time accused of attacking 4 victims in a matter of minutes.
Felt a hand in my pocket and I just turned my head like that, and there's a man just directly in front of me, and he just punched me in the face.
Miles and other victims telling WGN they hope something changes before more people get hurt. According to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, the case will be presented to a grand jury for direct indictment. Again, the suspect is being held here at the Cook County Jail. At 26th in California, I'm Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
Yeah, but remember, Chicago's safe. We don't need any extra help. Murder capital of the country. Murder capital. Unbelievable. But, they want more money for their immigrants. Like I said, we're going to clip right along. We just got a couple more and we'll be done. So go ahead. Yeah.
This Karen sued a 90-year-old World War II veteran because his American flag was 3 inches too tall. But watch what happens when the judge finds out who he really is.
She says it's 3 inches too tall, Your Honor. But the boys I left on Omaha Beach, they didn't measure the cost. I fly it for them.
Ms. Frederick, we're going to give this man the respect he deserves. Sir, fly the flag.
Now that is a Karen 101. To take an elderly man to court because his flagpole is 3 inches too tall. My question for her is, how does she know? Did she trespass without going his property without a warrant? These HOA people are literally have lost their minds. Do not buy a home with an HOA. You literally are going into a fascist communist commune that tells you that your package has been on the porch too long, your garbage cans are out too long, your grass is too high. It's my house. Go pound salt if I don't want to mow my lawn today. I don't care about my flagpole being too tall. Come take it down and see what happens. Next video, please.
store through the ceiling. It ransacked several aisles, leaving a trail of destruction, and then had the nerve to pass out drunk on the employee bathroom floor. So the raccoon damaged $250 worth of liquor. Animal Protection says that after a few hours, the mischievous mammal sobered up. He was alert, unharmed, and was released back into the wild, and maybe learned a little bit of a lesson.
Now, I saw this story, and first of all, I thought it was AI. I really did. But then it was on ABC, NBC. They don't play with the AI stuff. They really, really don't. So we saw this. We're like, oh my God. We tried to end the show on a happy note. We dig into the dirt. You know, we get the dirt underneath our fingernails. We go with the nitty gritty stuff. We talk about things that how we're going to change things in our community, and but then we're trying to bring it a little lighter on the backside. Again, it's 8 o'clock. We're right on the money for an hour show on a Sunday night. I will not be having a show on Wednesday. I will post it. I will do a Facebook Live and remind people I have an obligation I can't get out of, so there will be no show on Wednesday. I'll put a couple reminders out there. We will come back on Sunday, and we'll do a show on Sunday, but no show on Wednesday. Don't be sad. You know, don't go play Ricky Raccoon and break into a liquor store and pass out in the bathroom because you're sad. That's not how we handle things here. You go back on YouTube, we'll watch a rerun. So again, a special thank you to Scott Pressler for coming out today. That was really nice of him on such a short notice. We talked about 2 o'clock, and he said, yep, he'll be there. And we really hadn't heard from him because all of a sudden I see his picture show up on the video queue. I'm like, all right, Scott. I never doubted Scott Pressler for a minute. Well, if I had my artwork, I put insert sarcasm here. So I was like, I get a little nervous. Brenda, go ahead and play the outro video. We're going to bring this thing in for landing. Bill, I read your comment.
Fight has never been clear. Take a good look in the mirror, and tell me what you see. They throw their stones to silence people, build up their walls to celebrate evil. Destructions are what they seek, and they got their man Charlie. But like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. One bullet, one shot, but don't be mistaken. They took out a life, but united a nation, and we are not afraid. We rise up against those demonic forces who kill and destroy, but for God who our Lord is, standing strong and brave, the sleeping giant waves. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. They took out someone, a dead husband and son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made. They took out someone, a dead husband or son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made, and they created a martyr that day. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is a war. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will. He lived without fear. Oh, like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. It won't disappear. Now the whole world hears. So let me be clear, Charlie, we got it from here.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. A special thank you for Brenda for doing everything she does to make the show work as well as it does. And again, Scott Pressler, thank you all for coming out on this kind of chilly Sunday night. That way we still have time to curl up on the couch and watch our favorite Netflix and do whatever you got to do, go to bed. And I'll be thinking about all you folks that are going to work tomorrow while I'm sitting around in my flannel pants tomorrow because I got nothing to do tomorrow other than put on windshield wiper blades on my truck. Other than that, Shank out. Got to click the end button first.